Alright, so I have to do a little bit of maintenance before I can get this engine in. So the number one way to ruin one of these engines is not checking your valve clearances. These exhaust valves can get really tight and cause catastrophic issues. So here's some notes that I took straight from the service manual. If you just want a down and dirty list here. And then the cylinders starting from the cam side here is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right now it's at top dead center for cylinder number 1. And the clearance on the exhaust side is supposed to be 0.18 millimeters, which I have right here. So this should just slide in no problem, just with like a little bit of drag. And as you can see, I can't even get it in at all. So those are too tight. So I'm going to crack these loose. Now I can use a screwdriver to adjust this. So if I just back it out a little bit, snug it up. So got it pretty much perfect on the first try here. Just a little bit of drag on that feeler gauge. So now I'm going to go ahead and make sure this nut is snugged up here. That one's good to go. So I'll back this one out a little bit. Check it. Probably a little loose. See, that's probably pretty good right there. Now to tighten it up. Just check it again. Still good. And good and snug. So the exhaust side is done. Check our feelers one more time. Feels good. This one's good too. So now the intake side, this is a 0.1 millimeter feeler. And these are alright. This one is good. Yeah, both of these feel really good. So I don't even have to mess with that side. So now I'm going to turn the crankshaft 180 degrees, which then is going to turn the camshafts 90 degrees. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I turn that 90 degrees counterclockwise, the number 3 cylinder is going to be at top dead center. So let's check them out. Do the 0.18. Can't fit it in. This one's not too bad, but this side does not fit. And then just a quick point, when you're spinning this, it doesn't need to be like perfect as long as you're off the lobe. And the lobe is just this raised part here, you're fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this cracked here. Okay, we'll check it with the 0.18. Still a little tight. Alright. Feels pretty good right there. Tighten down the nut. Just check it really quick before I tighten it all the way. Feels perfect. Alright, so that's good. This side we already said is good. Now the 0.1 goes in nicely, maybe a little loose, but should be within tolerance. You really just want to avoid being too tight. So I'm not going to mess with those. Now I'm going to turn it another 90 degrees. Alright, now we're going to be working on the number 4 cylinder right here. I have the 0.18. Fits in, but it's really tight. And this is probably just like a hair too tight as well. So let's crack those open. Okay, we'll check them. Feels pretty good. Loosen it up a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to tighten this up. Check it one more time. Feels pretty good. That one feels good too. So we'll go ahead and tighten this down. Alright, let's check the intake side. Feels pretty good. Okay, that one feels a little loose, but I have this 0.13 here. We're just going to try that one. Okay, 0.13 goes in, and that actually goes in both sides, so that's over tolerance. So we're going to have to tighten those ones a little bit. Alright, here's the 0.1. We want the 0.13 to not fit, and it still fits. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good right there. Okay, that's good. Alright, we just have one more cylinder, so let me turn it 90 more degrees. Alright, last but not least, cylinder 2, which is right here. So let's check the 0.18. So the outside feels pretty good. And then this side, too tight. So let's... Tighten this one up. Then here's a 0.20. We'll just check that out. 2.0 still fits. So maybe it's probably fine, but we'll tighten it a little bit. I'd say that's pretty good. So the 0.2 is tight, and the 0.18 goes right in. So that's good. Then we have the 0.1. So this one, it's really nice to have that bigger one because it's kind of hard to tell, but she's pretty sloppy still. 0.13 goes in no problem, so that's out of tolerance. So we're tightening these up a little bit. So 0.13 doesn't fit. 0.1 doesn't fit either. So that's pretty good right there. Okay, 0.13 doesn't go in. 0.1 goes in. There we go. So not too painful, but we got it done. Luckily, you know, it's not a VTEC motor. That's one nicer thing about having a non-VTEC motor is it's less complex, but we got it done. Make sure you do it on your CRV. It's super important. And yeah, let's keep on going. Alright, while we're in here, I might as well change out these spark plugs. Alright, so these look like they're in pretty okay shape, nothing out of the norm. Alright, I'm going to be replacing these spark plugs with some NGKs. So these are the new ones. I'll have to check the gaps on these. Alright guys, so it's really important to check the gaps on these spark plugs, even more so if you have a turbocharged car. So the spec on this needs to be 0.04, and I have this little gapping tool. So I already did this one. Wherever it stops, that's where your gap is, so this one is good. Now this one is a little bit tight, so I'm going to put it in the gap opener. It's really easy to overdo it, so we got 0.04. Alright, this one's a little tight, just like the rest have been. So that was too much. So I'm going to close it a little bit. I would normally do this on the table, but I'll just do it right here. too tight again. Way too much again. Alright, this one is good to go. Check the final one. Too tight. So it's pretty hard to tell if you do too much. Alright, this one is good to go. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put these in.